Hello, everybody, and welcome back to your favorite film podcast, The Average Film Enjoyer. The fellas are back together today. Jagger, of course, our resident youngster.
Film hater.
The average, that's true. At least today it is. Well, not for... Jagger's a big fan of In the Mouth of Madness, but...
No, he's not. He's not.
Wait, really? How? Jagger, that movie's like right up your alley.
Oh, trust me, I know. We'll get to it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Stop spoiling
last
it.
week too.
Stop spoiling.
Sorry for the spoilers. And we got Evan here.
I'm the big glazer.
Yeah. Evan, a.k.a. the oldest guy on the podcast.
I'm about to be even older. Like two more weeks.
Yeah, and you're 25,
then
right?
I'm a quarter dead. Yeah.
Oh,
Happy
God.
early birthday.
Thank you.
Early birthday.
You still need to tell me what you want for your
I
birthday.
know. I'll tell you right now, Trey. I want a
Legos?
4K of the Batman.
The Batman? Oh, maybe I'll just give you mine.
Because we'll get into it later, but I watched the Batman again.
Yeah,
I got
it's
some
peak.
stuff to say about it. And I don't have it on 4K. I rented it on YouTube, and it was 720p. And I wanted to it was... We'll talk about it in a little bit.
But yeah, we're back together today. It's going to be a great episode. We got our second to last week of Carpenter today. Next week will be our last Carpenter episode, unfortunately. Sad times.
You can't even thumbs up. You didn't watch
Yeah,
it.
you Jagger, you haven't even watched most of these.
You didn't even watch Assault on Precinct 13.
Oh my God, so peak.
peak it
I
was.
need to rewatch that, dude.
Yeah.
That movie rips.
The score is crazy.
Oh my... Dude, it's because John Carpenter did the score, and he's debatably one of the greatest composers of all time. Oh my God.
He sure is. Yeah.
Like the Escape movies.
Oh my God. Don't even get me started.
Yeah,
There's
Jagger
a
knows
reason
what's
our
up.
Escape from LA movie or review went so hard. Because
Yeah.
it's just an hour and a half of me glazing the fuck out of Escape from LA and
Yeah.
Escape from New York.
Dude, Escape from LA is peak.
What a wacky movie, dude. The basketball scene.
Dude,
I want some
and the
funny content.
the surfing scene.
If you want some funny content, go watch that episode because Jagger forgot about this and I was telling it to him and he did not believe me.
Yeah, I still don't.
Yeah, like Escape
Jagger,
from
you gotta
LA is
rewatch
fucking
it, man.
nuts. Escape from
But-
LA is insane. It is so funny.
It's so good. Oh my
Thank you,
God, I
guys.
love Escape from LA.
But
But yeah, we also...
Oh yeah, sorry, my bad.
No, what were you gonna say?
I would argue that Escape from New York has the greatest score of all time. I wouldn't fight it.
That's not ridiculous.
That's not ridiculous. I mean, it's really hard because there's so many amazing scores.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know that guy
I-
we talked about last week, Trey? I mean, whoever did Escape from New York, if it was John Carpenter, clears that fucking John Williams guy.
Oh, fuck off. No.
We got into it, Jagger. We got into it.
Gotcha.
Okay, Jagger, just off the cuff right now. I know we're already going on a tangent, but this is a podcast of tangents. We've talked about this. Me and Evan are, I don't know about Jagger, but me and Evan are extremely, like, ADHD, like, just unhinged.
Same.
Yeah, so all three of us have Matt, so we're just, like, all over the place. All right, you got Hans Zimmer or John Williams. Who's the better composer? Like, who has the better discography?
Hans Zimmer did Dune too, so I'm taking Hans Zimmer.
Let's go,
Oh my
baby!
God!
Let's go!
Yeah,
That's
come
what
on.
I'm talking about.
All right, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we,
Okay.
in our IMDb movies today, we are talking about Guillermo del Toro's classic that I thought David Bowie was in, but that's Labyrinth, not the movie we're talking about today, which is Pan's Labyrinth. I haven't seen the David Bowie one either, but
Pretty good.
yeah. I asked my mom, I was like, don't you really like Pan's Labyrinth? And she's like, is that the one with David Bowie? And I'm like, I think so.
Fuck yeah.
Turns out David Bowie is not in it. So that was a real disappointment.
I don't think he speaks Spanish.
Hey, man, I wouldn't be surprised. David Bowie is a multi-talented guy. Was, unfortunately. R.I.P. And we are talking about, it might be the first Western we're talking about on the IMDb series. I can't remember any other Westerns we've talked about. I mean, I guess you could kind of consider any Kurosawa Westerns because he was heavily... I don't know. If you watch his films and you get more into Westerns, you realize how influenced Kurosawa was by like the American Western genre, which is really cool.
The other one, Trey, I don't remember the name of it. We literally just talked about it, but it kind of had a Western vibe to it. The gold one with the three dudes.
What?
That we both thought was
Three Amigos?
No.
Hey.
It was these guys, they were working in a mine.
Oh, the Treasure of the Sierra Madre.
Yeah,
that was mid.
Western vibes. Some Western vibes. But
yeah,
you know what? We've got the trilogy coming.
Yeah, I guess that could be considered a Western. I don't know. When I think of Westerns, I think of like cowboys and prostitutes and shooting and whiskey and...
I need some excuses to watch John Ford movies, so I'm hoping that one pops up on this list.
Yeah.
John Ford?
Yeah.
Oh, questionable guy. Continue.
Well, I mean, David Lynch plays him in The Fabelmans, so...
Yeah.
I'm good. You know what?
But yeah, that's what we got today. Per usual, like the video down below if you're listening to this, or if you're watching this. If you're listening, subscribe, give us a follow, whatever it is on whatever listening app you are using. Leave us a comment down below, whether it's a question or your thoughts on the Carpenter deep dive, or what your favorite Western is, because this is something that me and Evan have been talking about, because I've seen a few and Evan hasn't seen very many. So I keep trying to tell him to watch the best Western of all time, which is Tombstone.
I was watching Peak last. Sorry. I was watching Peak last.
It's fine. You could have been watching other Peak, but you had to watch this Peak. So, yeah, leave us a comment down below.
We're blowing up the YouTube. We're doing numbers on YouTube lately.
We are, yeah. And we will, like, in the future, like, if you guys leave comments on videos, we will respond to every single comment. So, on, like, the next episode. So, leave a comment if you want to hear us shout you out. Shout out to our guy in Belgium.
Yeah.
We haven't shouted him out in a few episodes. Shout out to you. We don't know if it's a guy or a girl. Shout out to the person in Belgium who's practically listened to every Average Film Enjoyer episode. Please find a way to reach out to us so we can bring you on and just say hello. You are our most loyal fan, which is crazy.
Like
so
May of last year, I think.
Yeah. And he's listened, he consistently, they consistently listen to every episode.
Yeah. Also, follow the Letterboxd HQ. Put up a story today. It's being updated. Yeah.
Letterboxd HQ is back to being active. Give us a follow.
I'll be putting posts before episodes, after episodes, linking our scores to all the stuff we talked about. Stuff like that. Yeah. So follow that. Got a bunch of followers today from the Real Talk Discord. Shout out those pookies.
Hell yeah. Love to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so please reach out, like, leave us a comment, whatever.
Dude.
Remember, Halloween is coming up, but it's not too late to get your spooky season merch just in time for Halloween. So, right now, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, go on to the Average Film Enjoyer website and order your spooky season merch. That's what we want. That's what we want you to do, because you'll be looking dripped out, and then we get money. So that's a real plus, you know,
yeah.
Because it's expensive to podcast.
Yes.
And only one of us has a full-time job. So
I was on the Letterboxd HQ today and saw Letterboxd HQ expiring in 52 days, and I was like, oh god, rest in peace.
no, we'll that's not expiring. We are gonna keep that up. Because I think it's really cool, and I know I'm not the only one who feels that way, that likes being able to read stories on Letterboxd.
Yeah, and I learned how to make sure that they are visible to everybody because I made the post and sent it to Trey, and I was like, dude, I think I did a good job here. And he's like, I can't fucking see it. And the default setting when you post something is draft, not visible to everybody. So
oh yeah, I remember that.
So we're good.
Yeah,
you can go see my stories, read my exceptional writing.
So all the stories will be from the perspective of Evan. So if there's an I and like talking about like I did this or blah blah or I watched this, that's Evan.
You can read the words. This is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. In today's story, so go read that shit.
So check out all of that episodes we got coming up next week. We are finishing up our Carpenter deep dive. Sad times.
Pookie. Rest in peace. Not rest. Sorry.
This might be my favorite deep dive that we've done.
Yeah.
There's a lot of movies on here that I wouldn't have otherwise watched.
Rivaling the PTA deep dive, honestly.
Oh, the PTA deep.
See, that's peak, dude. Oh my God.
This isn't the most peak deep dive we've done, but like
the Turn Horse Jagger. You know what I'm saying?
I do have to watch the Turn Horse. I do. I'm very excited to watch it when I can.
It's shit. Jagger, I got flamed for reviewing that movie.
Next week is we're doing 3 Carpenter movies. All right? Because I don't want to do 2 and then 1 when we can just do 3. So
we don't have an M. Night Shyamalan situation where it's like he wrote it, with Devil, something like that. So, yeah. Yeah.
So, we are going to be doing Vampires, released in 1998 with James Woods. And then we're going to be doing Ghosts of Mars with Ice Cube, Pam Grier, and Jason Statham. Incoming peak.
I cannot fucking wait for this movie, dude.
How does that sound to you, Jagger? Ice Cube, Pam Grier, Jason Statham.
Sounds like a very solid 1-star.
Oh my God. He's so fucking good. Jason Statham. I'm gonna log it right now.
Oh shoot. That's what's her face? No. From Girl Interrupted. I can't remember her name.
While Trey thinks of it, the other movie we have is The Ward, which
with John Amber Heard.
Yeah, when John Carpenter maybe was doing letterbox posts, we don't really know if it was him or not.
It was.
It was debunked.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, shit. They were so weird.
You didn't see that? Jagger must have just sent it to me.
But the post said, I fucking hate this movie on The Ward. So we'll see. It might be bad. Still, John Carpenter, a little bit of a fall off after, some of his more recent movies, bit of a fall off, but nothing offensively bad. Still having a good time. I'm probably going to raise my score on Village of the Damned. We'll talk about it in a little bit, but
and then the IMDb movies.
I'm so excited, Trey.
For that week are.
It's 2 movies you hate.
Shutter Island and Casino. Oh my God, a week of mid.
Dude, Casino, one of Scorsese's better movies.
That is so crazy that you think that.
Huh?
Are you implying that he has mid?
That Scorsese has mid movies.
Yeah, you said it's one of his better movies. Like, not all of his movies are good.
Have you seen The Wolf of Wall Street?
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. Oh my God.
You are alone in that opinion, Evan.
That's
Wolf
crazy.
of Wall Street, solid 1.5 to 2 stars.
No way.
Agreed.
Really? That's crazy.
Agreed. And And then the week after, we've announced this once before, but we're about to announce it again. We are starting our Marvel retrospect. It is gonna be dope.
So we're starting with Iron Man and First Avenger.
Yeah, what's the second one? Is it First Avenger?
No, it's the Incredible Hulk.
Oh yeah, with Ed Norton.
Yeah, which I'm fucking
movies. Oh my God.
I'm hyped for because I'm a massive Incredible Hulk glazer.
Yeah.
Okay, what would you give that one? Because I've seen it, and I haven't seen it in a while. 4 stars.
I haven't seen
4
it
stars
since the theaters, so it has been a long time. I'm old. I loved it when it came out. We'll see.
Yeah, I would say sitting on like a 3.5 for me. As far as
that's
Iron
totally, dude. That's higher than most people.
Yeah,
really?
People don't like that one.
People don't like the Incredible Hulk, man.
That's Ang Lee, right?
No,
that's the Hulk.
That's the
It's
Hulk.
just called Hulk.
Okay.
With Eric Bana.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
I'm scared. There's probably.
But that's good too.
Trey watched Thor this week. Sorry to spoil it. I won't say what he thought about it, but I remember thinking that was pretty mid. I've only seen it once in theaters.
Dude,
Again,
Kenneth Branagh, man.
We'll see.
Directing the shit out of that movie.
I've never seen Thor: The Dark World. You might get a 1 star from me. Skip that one.
I'm actually rewatching The Dark World right now. There's some. It's not great, but there's some funny bits in it.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm excited, especially because I have a lot of love. I was a Marvel glazer until Shang-Chi was the last movie I heavily glazed. I haven't seen the new stuff. I'm tapped out. Just let me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like No Way Home. We've already talked about it.
I don't think any of us do.
I'm very excited for the OG stuff. I'm excited to rewatch Age of Ultron. That's what I'm really excited for.
Dude.
Excited for the Love and Thunder conversation. That's what I'm excited about.
But Jagger is another, because that's another one that's so underrated, I think. And and Jagger have it like higher rated than most people.
A lot of these Marvel movies I saw in theaters, I went to the movies every single week as a kid. It was Sunday, we'd go with my parents, we'd see whatever. And we saw every Marvel movie. And because I told my mom that I really wanted to see Iron Man when it came out in 2008, whatever year it was, and she took me and she loved it. So she was like, "Yeah, let's go see him." So we saw them all, and a lot of them I only saw once, and it was when I was a literal child. So I'm excited to go back. It'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think we'll share a lot of personal, because at least for me, I have a very personal connection to Marvel as a whole. Like, before I was a film nerd, like, I was a Marvel nerd on a level you don't even understand.
I remember the Avengers in theaters. I remember the exact seat I was sitting in.
Dude, me too.
The post-credit scene was coming. I knew it was coming, and I almost pissed my pants. I was like, I'm not missing this fucking post-credit scene. I will pee my pants in this theater right now. Like, that's how hard I used to go for these Marvel movies, and
yeah,
I'm excited to go back because I did start a Marvel rewatch. It did not get very far, but I rewatched the first Avenger, and it fucking rips. And then I rewatched it again, and it still fucking rips. So big glaze fest.
Alan Silvestri cooking up a god tier score in that movie.
Yeah, that movie fucking. Yeah, that movie's fucking awesome. So we'll talk about that one. It'll be good
dude, we're getting we're 20 minutes in and we're not even through what we got coming up. Oh my god. We need to focus, guys.
Okay.
And then that week we're reviewing Iron Man and Incredible Hulk. We are also reviewing, what is this one past Casino? Can you guys tell? I can't tell because of the custom poster. Freaking Jagger.
Oh, that's my bad.
That's There Will Be Blood, isn't it? Yeah, it's There Will Be Blood and Ron. Holy fucking peak.
Okay, so we've already reviewed There Will Be Blood. So you guys...
Truman Show.
So we're going to be doing 41 Ron and The Truman Show. along that episode.
I can't wait to talk about Ron. That's crazy. That's gonna be a good time.
I can't wait to hate on Green Book.
Fuck off, Trey. Save it.
That movie is insanely racist.
It's a good time.
Wait a minute. Hold on a minute. I'm not the only person left in the world that doesn't hate Green Book.
I love Green Book.
I hate Green Book. That's
Yes.
like white. I hate it for the same reason I hate The Help. It's the whole white savior complex.
Yeah, but I mean,
and
it's entertaining.
And like, I'll admit this, La La Land is my all-time favorite movie, but it also has a white savior complex.
Oh my god, Trey, I get it.
A white man coming in to save jazz.
That's crazy, dude. That's a conversation for another time. We
But
don't have time for it.
everything else is good enough to make up for it.
I haven't seen Green Book
what?
in 6 years. So
Yeah, Green Book's fucking awesome. Anyway,
That's crazy.
Trey, how are you doing?
Well, now I'm pretty frustrated. No, I'm doing good. Weather is starting to cool down over here. It's getting... Shut up, Evan. It's getting pretty chilly for us Oregonians.
It's 15 Celsius for you smart people out there.
Yeah. So it's starting to get a bit chilly. School's kind of kicking my ass. I got a big midterm coming up next week for my intro to film analysis class.
I have a question for you regarding school.
Yeah.
So here we have something called Reading Week, and you get an entire week off school to study for midterms. Do you guys have that?
No.
We got it because people kept killing themselves at school. Yeah, kind of dark, but yeah, I showed up about 20 minutes after somebody jumped off the roof of one of the buildings. So, yeah, I got to school about 20 minutes after somebody jumped off the roof of one of the buildings. So we got Reading Week, and it's a week off school before midterm season.
Stop. Come on, man, keep it together.
Guess the mental health in bye, Trey. Guess the mental health and
nope, I'm still here. I'm just turning off my camera for a second. I'm fixing something in my background.
Yeah, I get it. School's tough. I frequently feel like I miss school, and then I'm like, you know what? It was stressful. Maybe I don't.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's been shit, but like, I like all my classes. I'm learning a lot. And I'm learning how to like intellectually talk about films, like when using terms, which I haven't really been able to use in a conversation at all. I'm going to use it today to try to impress Jagger with my knowing of terms of like different camera angles and shots and things. So yeah, I like all my classes. I'm just stressed because I have a lot of shit to do. I was telling Jagger I have 3 papers to write this weekend and work. So,
I get that.
And I really wish I didn't have a nicotine addiction, because at this point, that's the only reason I'm working, is to support my nicotine addiction.
Real. Don't smoke.
Evan,
don't do that.
Don't do it, dude. Evan,
Right?
but
in about 25 minutes, I'm gonna walk over to the living room and get the vape from Beth because she's using it right now.
You guys share? Oh, I'd never be able to do that.
Well,
I don't mind, like...
She goes to work. You know what? I work in the morning, she works in the afternoon. I take it to work.
But then you don't have it the whole afternoon?
No, I take it to work, and then she gets it when she gets it.
Oh, shit.
She's the one that's without it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean,
dude,
Jagger?
nicotine addiction, man.
Are you listening to this? Like, don't fucking start it.
Yeah.
It's a bad
Don't do it. It's really bad.
Jagger, how are you doing? Sorry, you're done.
See, this is
I'm done.
Show. This is a very educational show.
Yeah.
No, I'm doing good. School is fine. I am fine.
Just fine?
I'm doing fine. I'm surviving.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I feel that so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Evan, what about you? How are you doing?
Yeah.
How was your week?
Work fucking sucks. I'll tell you guys about it later, just in case. Paper trail. Work fucking sucks. My boss is busting my balls. It's the worst thing ever. But you know what? Home life is fucking peak. I've been making sourdough at home, watching peak. I've put 55 hours into Persona 5 in the last 3 weeks. It's all I play.
Hell yeah.
It's fucking peak. I'm going to Walmart tomorrow to buy a new game, and I can't wait.
What are you buying? Call of Duty?
No, Call of Duty is on Game Pass. Also, Trey, we got to set our
Yeah.
Xboxes to New Zealand time, and we'll play Call of Duty tomorrow.
Oh shit, can you do that?
Yeah, you set it to New Zealand time, and it sets it almost 24 hours ahead, and you can play it a day early. So we're gonna play some Call of Duty.
Yeah. Shoot. Never mind.
Yeah. I'm getting Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, which is a Metroidvania kind of Hollow Knight-esque.
Yeah.
Prince of Persia game, and I'm kind of longing. I put 85 hours into Hollow Knight. I need more Metroidvania. It's on sale. I want to buy it, so I want to play that. I'm wanting to buy some physical media very badly, and all the movies I want to buy are not sold widely, so...
Well, don't buy the Batman 4K.
No, I won't. I want to buy 2 movies that we're going to talk about, not today, but very soon. Can we talk about that thing on Friday, Trey? Is that set in stone?
Yeah.
Okay. On Friday, it might not come out Friday, but on Friday, we'll be recording a little bonus episode for you guys about one of my favorite movies of the year, a masterclass in true crime and horror and suspense, Red Rooms, French-Canadian horror thriller. I'll leave it at that. It's fucking peak. We're gonna have...
Well, yeah, we're
Oscar.
having Oscar from the Shot by Shot, who Evan has been on their podcast.
Yeah.
Maybe Ryan. But none of them have ever been on our podcast. Oscar is a film journalist, and he recently wrote a story about Red Rooms and the true crime wave, and I found it very interesting, and I think it could spark some great conversation. So we're going to talk about that on Friday. Be looking out for that on either Friday or this weekend. It'll be released at some point when I have time to edit.
That's fucking awesome. I can't wait to talk about Red Rooms.
That'll be super cool.
I've been glazing Red Rooms for months because it's been out in Canada for ages. Because it just came to streaming here. It didn't get a theatrical release. It just immediately came to streaming in Canada.
Yeah.
I watched it in the summer, and it's fucking amazing. I can't wait for these two to see it.
Yeah.
The other thing, a movie I watched last night that I'll talk about a bit more. I'll be doing a little guest appearance on the Shop by Shop podcast. A lot of collabs with Oscar this week. Talk about The Beast.
Was that good? Because I considered watching it really recently. And then
I'll tell you about it when we get to the watch list, but
okay.
It's going to be a good episode, so tune in for that one.
Hell yeah.
I'm doing good. I'm having a good time. Work sucks, but I'm making the best of the home life. Let's just kick into... You want to kick into movie news?
Yeah, that sounds good. Dude, I'm loving this. You're just taking the lead. I'm loving this. Yeah, I'm usually in the lead. So this is just cool.
Let's get the small news out of the way before we talk about the big dog.
For sure.
Blade has been delayed indefinitely. This is expected. You know what? This movie's not fucking coming out. Just cancel it already.
Never. No.
This movie is not coming out.
Yeah.
One thing, this is a really small movie news thing, but I thought it was funny. Have you guys seen the trailer for Heretic with Hugh Grant, the A24 horror movie?
I'm so hyped.
Yeah, this movie looks fucking incredible. This is a little disgusting film headline. A24 will make select movie theaters smell like blueberry during a certain scene for their upcoming film, Heretic. That's awesome.
Oh,
that's cool.
That's super cool.
Very weird. I can't fucking wait for that. One thing, I don't think either of you have played this, but we got a new showrunner for the God of War TV series on Prime. We don't know about what the plot's going to be, what game it's going to follow. It's going to be something new, but it's the showrunner who did For All Mankind on Apple TV Plus, and he did a lot of the Battlestar Galactica TV show that people like. So that's cool. We'll see. Peak game. We got the cast for Beef season 2. I don't know if you guys saw Beef.
Oh, I did not see this. Well, I saw. I didn't see this news. I saw Beef, and it was fucking immaculate.
Yeah, so Beef season 2 stars Oscar Isaac, Carey Mulligan, Charles Melton, and Kaylee Spaney.
Hell yeah.
Season 2 follows couples who witness a fight between their bosses and his wife, triggering chess moves and coercion in the world of a country club and its Korean billionaire owner. Fuck yes, dude. Beef season 1 is so insanely peak. I can't wait for season 2.
Jagger, have you watched Beef?
No, I haven't. But
it's like 8 episodes, dude. It's so fucking good.
You'd really like it, I think. It's really fun.
I just looked up who Charles Melton is. I didn't realize. He was the guy that was in...
December,
and that just guided me down a rabbit hole to him being in the new Todd Solondz movie with Elizabeth Olsen.
Hell yeah. And Riverdale.
Oh.
Shout out Riverdale.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
God. Evan and his trashy TV, man.
I've only seen the first, 5 seasons, so...
Only? That is a crazy... when someone says, I've only seen, you expect it to be 1 or 2 seasons, but you're like, I've only seen the first 5 seasons.
I watched a clip from season 7, and there were superpowers, and I turned it off.
How many seasons are there?
It's done. I think it's 7.
Yeah, you're like, I've only seen, most of the show.
It's 7 or 8. I don't know. Anyway,
I've only seen, more than half the show.
Okay, well, the first 3 seasons were fun. So, and then I kept going in denial. Anyway, Gladiator 2 screened. It screened to, fucking TikTokers first. So we got a review that said there's audio and visuals, and it was the most insane review I've ever seen in my entire life. What the fuck is that? Show it to the critics. I don't know what to think. They showed it to the critics. One guy that I've been following heavily for TIFF, and New York Film Festival and cons, stuff like that. Matt Neglia, I think that's how you say his last name. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing. He said it's an epic. The story does not hit the same emotional beats as the first, but cast is great. It's visually astounding. It's what we expect, you don't expect the same impact as the first movie with Russell Crowe's family. I'm very excited. It's going to be peak.
If I may, can I just read his review?
Oh, dude, read it, please.
Gladiator 2 isn't just arguably the best film of the year, it's one of the best of all time. It's one of those films that will reinvigorate your love for cinema. It defies expectations. The performances are outstanding, and then in parentheses, Denzel just locked in another Oscar. The score is just as great as the original, the writing is incredible, and there's a lot of action on such a massive scale. It's unreal. I could go on, but prepare to witness greatness this November, with this photo attached.
Soups is the all-time biggest glazer.
If I can't wait to read his Venom 3 review, because that's out. But if Gladiator 2 is a 4-star or higher, I will consider this a W. Because we need a W after Napoleon. Dude, I got the hands going like Trump. I hate it.
Oh my god. He posted his Venom 3 review. If you'd like
did he?
Well,
yeah, please.
Venom: The Last Dance isn't just fun, it's the best Venom movie by far, in all caps.
What did I say?
It's the funniest, most emotional, best story, and it takes the silliness we love and fully embraces it full force. They do a lot of cool symbiote stuff, and couldn't have gotten a better ending to this trilogy that also sets up more. Sony cooked, y'all.
Okay, let me just say this. Soups, I love you. I want to make this clear. I love you. I've always loved your content. I love how hype you get about stuff. I think it's awesome. I would love to have you on the pod someday to talk about superhero movies, but because I think few people match your passion for superhero movies. But dude, you gotta calm down, man. That is silliness is not what we want out of a Venom movie.
That's exactly what you. No, Trey. That's exactly what we want.
Shut
I
up.
want silliness.
You shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
Fuck yeah. Let's give it.
Kirkland Lime sparkling water.
I'm jealous.
Really
Dude, these are peak, man. It's the best sparkling water.
I have 2 more quick movie news things, and then
the big one
about the big dog. Okay. Dan Trachtenberg. This came with the Blade delay. Predator Badlands will release on November 7th, 2025, starring Elle Fanning, set in the future. This is a follow-up to Prey.
Yeah, Prey was good.
Prey fucking rips. I cannot wait for this movie. That's gonna be
it's the same guy that did 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah, and that movie is sick as hell. That's a great movie.
Yeah.
So, can't wait for the next one. You know, we're on a hot streak right now. That's awesome. Some unfortunate news, some utter fucking bullshit. Hans Zimmer's Dune 2 score is not eligible for the Oscars. Because
what reason?
It used too many notes from the first movie. And you tell me that every Star Wars movie ever is nominated for Best Score. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Doom, Destiny, whatever, is nominated for Best Score at the Oscars. Yet Dune 2 is not. And we have some of the best Hans Zimmer tracks of all time in Dune 2. We have Kiss the Ring. Like, what the fuck is going on?
A Time of Quiet Between Storms.
A Time of Quiet Between Storms is...
Oh my god.
It's too much peak, dude. That song makes me feel like I am Paul Atreides.
Dude, that is a transcendent piece of media.
Like, what?
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's
so crazy.
Disqualify John Williams from the Oscars altogether then. Like, what the fuck is going on here?
All right.
Because all he does is sequels. And he's nominated every fucking time. And Hans Zimmer isn't nominated because he uses the in Dune 2.
Yeah, dude.
Go fuck yourself, the Academy. Honestly, like, reverse this decision immediately. This is fucking bullshit.
He was the only good part of Interstellar. Hans Zimmer's great.
Okay, don't start some more tangents. Like, let's not do this.
Yeah, we're moving on from that. Next news.
Anyway, that's fucking bullshit. Next news. Speaking of Interstellar, the fucking goat is back.
Yeah.
His next film comes out in 2026, maybe 27. I can't remember the date they said. This is still a rumor. It hasn't been officially confirmed, but Christopher Nolan's next film is reported to be a 1920s period piece, a horror film about vampires. And I'm hard. Like, this is
rock hard, dude.
Maybe the best news I've ever heard. We need a Christopher Nolan horror film so badly, and we're getting it, and it's gonna be fucking peak. Right after Nosferatu, right after I can't remember who's directing it, but the new Michael B. Jordan, where he's playing 2 characters, vampire period piece.
I thought you were gonna pull out Maggie Gyllenhaal's Frankenstein movie.
Yeah, Lady Frankenstein.
Lady Frankenstein. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah,
with Christian Bale.
Yeah, I'm loving this resurgence of monster movies. Christopher Nolan making a horror film is all I want. He's gonna pull Ludwig out of the bag. You know, this guy's gonna get so fucking deep in his Duffy. Like, it's a Ludwig horror score. Oh my god,
yeah.
It's gonna go crazy. Christopher Nolan with the visuals. Make this R-rated again. You made Oppenheimer R-rated. Give me some fucked up shit. We have Matt Damon, and the other news, Tom Holland has been cast.
I fear this is going to be
Extreme
my
W. Tom Holland casting is great.
Yeah.
He's a really good actor.
He's a really good actor. He just has a really shitty agent.
Yeah. So, this is gonna be fucking monumental. I cannot wait.
Yeah.
I'm dripping. Like, give me this movie now.
Yeah.
I would me and Trey are talking about it. We want Willem Dafoe in this movie.
He has to be.
I want Ralph Ineson. I don't give a fuck that he's in all the Robert Eggers movies. I need his voice because, like, it's just perfect for period pieces, especially horror period pieces. I want. Just give me the cast of The Witch and The Lighthouse mashed together, and I'm set. Honestly, give me Ron Pattinson, give me Willem Dafoe, give me Ralph Ineson.
Well, I'm interested to see a Nolan horror movie. I don't.
Yeah, because the closest we have
know what to
is
expect.
Insomnia and Memento, and that's just suspense, right? So
yeah,
I can't wait for him to see him to tip the scales, go on to the other side, push it a little bit further. I don't think he's afraid of the R rating anymore, and I think that the Nolan horror movie thing is going to do numbers at the box office, especially after seeing how much money Oppenheimer made. Like, we know that it's not R rating movies don't make any money, especially with Deadpool. You know, fuck all that noise. So make it fucked up, cast some goats, get Ludwig on this. It's gonna be so peak. I cannot wait. Is there any actors you guys want in this?
I mean, you named it. Willem Dafoe is the big one for me.
Yeah.
Obviously, Christian Bale. But that's really just because I think Christian Bale is the greatest actor of all time.
Yeah.
If we're going down the Robert Eggers train, Anya Taylor-Joy is anchor element in the horror world.
Yeah.
So
the last thing before we move on to movie news, watch list, is Luca Guadagnino is set to direct a remake of American Psycho. Not the movie, the book. This is a fucking insane W.
But it's not a remake of the movie, Trey.
Yeah. It's a remake of the book. The American Psycho movie with Christian Bale strays a lot from the book. The director, I can't remember her name. She strayed a lot from the book. And I don't think Luca's going to stray from the book at all. I was reading on Reddit about the book, and it sounds horrific and gratuitously violent. That the original movie does not follow. So,
Trey, do you know about? Have you read the book, the American Psycho book?
No, but I know the differences, and I think that he should leave it alone.
This might sound like utter woke nonsense, but give me Patricia Bateman and make it Margaret Qualley. Honestly, I think Luca, because okay, here's my thing, and we can move on pretty quick off this, but Luca made Suspiria, the remake of Suspiria, and it is 100% a different movie. You can't even fucking compare it to the original. So I trust him fully to remake American Psycho in his own vision and it to be peak, because I know that he can remake a classic like Suspiria.
Didn't it already get confirmed that Jacob Elordi is playing Patrick Bateman?
No, there's no casting yet.
There's only one correct casting for Patrick Bateman.
Who?
All right, Glenn Howerton.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's crazy. That'd be a good one. Dude, Dennis is already Patrick Bateman on Always Sunny, honestly. What a fucking psychopath.
Yeah.
I just think he's a little bit old for the character, if anything. But
that's a fair point.
Yeah,
I'm really excited for it.
This is gonna be fucking awesome. Really cool. we'll talk about it more. I want to do a Luca deep dive at some point. We'll sprinkle it in if we get stale on Marvel, whatever. This movie's probably a while away, but I'd like to talk about Luca more as a filmmaker beyond Challengers, which we've talked about a lot. Because I love Luca, I just don't love Challengers, and I'm excited about this. I think this will be really cool.
All right, let's kick it into watch list. Who wants to kick it off?
Yeah. I'll kick it off.
Okay.
I watched The Apprentice, starring Sebastian Stan, Jeremy Strong, and Maria Bakalova. I loved it. I gave it a 4-star. It was fucking awesome. At first, I was like, why is Sebastian Stan not doing the Trump accent? And by the end of the movie, I was like, that's fucking Donald Trump. This man it perfectly encapsulates the evil that is Trump. Fuck Trump. Go fuck yourself. I hope you have a terrible day on November 5th. Like, genuinely.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit. This movie is really good, though. I described it to Alan, because we were talking about it, as Succession light, because it's filmed the exact same way as Succession. A lot of handheld business meetings, but it's not quite the same. The score isn't the same, and with Succession, the score is one of the things that really makes you feel the emotion in it. Makes you feel on edge, and that didn't really hit with me in this, but I still had such a good time. Sebastian Stan, Jeremy Strong. Like, Jeremy Strong is a shoo-in for a nomination here. I hope Sebastian Stan gets a nomination, but Jeremy Strong, holy fuck, he's so good in this. Loved it. Oh, yeah. 4 stars. Really, really good. Then I watched Return of the Killer Tomatoes, part of my Hooptober list. Fucking peak. There's a sequence in this movie that is pure ads. They pick up Snickers bars and cereal and candy and all this, and they're like, oh my god, look at this, and they're holding the brands right to the screen, and you can tell that this is how they paid for the movie. It's hilarious. Had a great time. Really, really funny. 4 stars. Did another Hooptober watch Crawl. Me and Trey talked about this. I gave this a 3. Some really good sequences. Some creepy, some grody gore. Some pretty nasty stuff. And some really thrilling sequences. I gave it a 3. It was higher than I expected. Good time. And then I watched a rec that I got in the film raffle ages ago because we were dogging on Jean-Luc Godard for his boring-ass movies. I watched Breathless, a remake of his, directed by Jim McBride. This stars Richard Gere. Holy juice. This movie fucking rips. It's about this dude, Richard Gere, badass. He's driving on the road. He kills a cop. And he goes on the run. And he finds his baddie. And he picks up the baddie and they go on the run.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely loved it. Insane levels of juice. The ending is fucking... oh my god, the ending is so good. Holy shit. Watch this movie. This is fucking amazing. I gave this 4.5. I loved it. This is a big day. After this, I watched Ma, another Hooptober movie.
Oh god.
Film starring a leading black woman. I gave this a 1.5.
Wait, have you seen The Blackening?
Yeah, I fucking love that movie. Oh my god, it's so
I was going to say you could have watched that. That movie rips.
Should have, because also there's a category for horror comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ma, pretty bad. I gave it a 1.5 because there was a couple moments that made me laugh really hard. Pretty bad.
Yeah.
After that, I watched another Hooptober movie. I was going hard on the Hooptober. Italian films. 4 Italian films. I watched Your Vice is a Locked Room and Only I Have the Key. 1972. This is directed by Sergio Martino. This movie fucking rips. I gave this a 4-star with a heart. I had a great time. It's super horny, a lot of sex, a lot of violence.
Yeah.
really weird. There's a cat named Satan, and they zoom in onto his eyes a lot. This black cat. I had a great time. A lot of orgies. Like, it's really weird.
Mm-hmm.
Highly recommend. Had a really, really good time with that one. Next, I have a confession to make. I've been thinking about men a lot, but not just any
Hey,
men.
man. Don't
I've been
we
thinking
all?
about one man in specific, maybe two men. You could say one. I've been thinking about Robert Pattinson, and I've been thinking about Bruce Wayne.
Hell
And
yeah.
I watched The Batman. I've been on the record a lot saying that The Dark Knight is better than The Batman, and nothing will ever change that. And with this most recent watch of The Batman, I might be getting there. I'm not there yet, but it's coming, I think.
The Dark Knight is not better than the Batman, but The Dark Knight Rises and Batman Begins are better than the Batman.
Oh, go watch the Batman episode. We'll talk. You can hear us about it there. This movie is really, really fucking good. It's a really good movie. Oh
Yeah.
my god, it's really good, guys. I think I might like. There's a really real chance that this passes The Dark Knight for me. And for those of you who don't know, this is my second favorite comic book movie of all time, The Dark Knight. And The Batman is just creeping up the list. And I mean, you heard it earlier. I asked Trey for the Batman 4K. I don't have a Dark Knight 4K, but the Batman visuals are just that good. And dude, Robert Pattinson is so fucking good. Colin Farrell is so fucking good. Paul Dano is so fucking good. Zoe Kravitz is so fucking good. John Turturro, it's just so good, man. Oh my god, I love it. I hadn't seen it in a little bit, and yeah, it's fucking peak. I love men, honestly. Like these guys are just going crazy. Yeah, you know what I mean?
I do.
Yeah. Next, I watched Smile. Rewatch Smile. I gave this 4.5. I used to give it a 4. I fucking love Smile. I think it's great. It's super creepy. There's one scene in particular that really scares me and creeps me out. The therapist scene when she's seeing her therapist and she gets the phone call from her therapist. It sends shivers down my spine. It's so creepy. The ending is fucking peak. The body horror is great. I love Smile. I can't wait to go see Smile 2. Jagger's going to tell me all about how peak it is in very soon. Yeah, I'll hopefully be seeing it soon. The next day, I watched a double feature of Apartment 7A and Rosemary's Baby. Apartment 7A is a prequel to Rosemary's Baby that came out this year. It is the exact same movie as Rosemary's Baby.
Oh.
Beat for beat, same movie. It wasn't bad, but watch Rosemary's Baby. I think the set design is fantastic. Like visually, it's really, really good. The set design's great. Julia Gardner from Ozark plays Ruth on Ozark. She was great in it. Yeah, I enjoyed it. You know, it's no Rosemary's Baby, but it's not bad. I gave it a 3-star. I thought it was pretty decent. I went in with really low expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Rosemary's Baby is a 5-star. It's a fucking perfect horror movie. You know, people can call it a thriller, whatever. It's a horror movie. The suspense is insane. And the ending is so good. The whole last like 20 minutes when she goes into the apartment is so fucking good. I love it. That's my like third or fourth time seeing it. After that, I watched 3 pod movies in a row. We'll talk about them soon. About the Madness, Villagers, Damn, Unforgiven. And then last night, I was gonna watch Pan's Labyrinth. Couldn't get a good link going, and I was like, maybe I'm not in the mood for it. And some fellow podcasters have been glazing The Beast, starring Lea Seydoux, quite hard. and George Mackey. So I said, and I had started this movie. I started this movie in the summer, and I started it at night after a day of work, and I fell asleep watching it. But I was really enjoying it, so I was like, I'm gonna watch it. This movie is astounding. This is a monumental film. This film tackles human emotion in a way that hits so deep with me in tackling trauma and the scariness of and frightening feeling of the unknown, and it tackles pain in a way where it's scary and it hurts, but it's necessary. It tackles love and loss and grief. It's so fucking good. I adored The Beast. It's my number 2 movie of the year. It's astounding. It's fucking amazing. It follows. I'll give you a little synopsis, but I don't want to say too much. It follows Léa Seydoux, and it's set in the future where AI is a lot more prominent, and there's this thing called purification where you can essentially live out your past lives to assess any traumas and unresolved emotions in your past lives, to fully remove emotion from your body and your mind. And a lot of people do it, and she's kind of hesitant to do it, but starts doing it. And you watch her live out past lives with George Mackey, and he's in all of them, and it's just fucking amazing. I thought it was spectacular. It's paced really well. The visuals are amazing. It's really trippy, confusing. It's a lot to take in on first watch. I think I'm going to watch it tomorrow again. I rented it, and I still have it for another 24 hours, but I might just buy it because, yeah, I thought it was phenomenal. It's fucking amazing. It's so good.
Hell
dude.
yeah.
So yeah.
Dude, you need to watch The Discovery.
Yeah, I really want to watch that one. But yeah, I can't say enough things about The Beast. I didn't even know I was doing this podcast episode with the shot by shot, and I had my notes app out writing down my thoughts. Like, this is all just from watching the movie, because I had so many things racing through my head that I wanted to think about, because it's really thought provoking. And yeah, fucking loved it. Highly recommend it. It's on iTunes. It was like $4.99. Just rent it, watch it. It's fucking peak.
It's also
yeah.
on the Criterion channel.
Yeah, it's not on the Criterion channel here, I don't think. The trailer is on it.
Oh, if you go to the trailer and then click down, it's there for free.
Are you serious? God damn it. I paid for it. I don't mind. Yeah, watch The Beast. It's fucking peak. Anyway, that's the end of my rant. Yeah.
Any more on your watch list, or?
No, that's it.
Jagger, why don't you go ahead?
Alright. So, my first, after we filmed the last episode that I was on, since I don't have too much, I went to see Terrifier 3. And I was in a really bad mood that day. And I took a lot of my anger out on this movie. So I left the theater really mad and gave it 1 star. But after reassessing everything, realistically it sits around like a 4. It is a really fun time. And if you like the first 2 Terrifier movies, it's just basically the second one again. But now it's set at Christmas. It's brutal, it's ridiculous, and it's really, really funny. I can't recommend it enough. Go check it out. Give this movie money. It deserves it.
Yeah.
Next, I watched A Stalker, which is like a 5-minute short film. 1 star is what it is. Then I watched Neil Breen's Fateful Findings.
Yes!
Evan, if you don't have this movie on your watch list, it's funnier than The Room and worse.
Ooh.
just a quick plot rundown, because the plot's pretty short. A small boy discovers a mystical power as a child. He's then separated from his childhood girlfriend. He grows up to be a computer scientist who's hacking into the most secret national and international secrets, as well as being an acclaimed novel writer. His childhood finding gives him amazing paranormal powers. He's reunited with his childhood girlfriend, mystically, on his hospital deathbed. As his relationship with his current drug addict girlfriend is deteriorating, the passions between them build the threesome. Mystical, psychiatric, and worldly forces rise to prevent him from revealing the hacked secrets. He attempts to reveal all in Washington, D.C. large press conference with fateful and dangerous consequences. It definitely does all of that. It is 100 minutes. This is the poster.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Watch Fateful Findings. 5 stars, 95 out of 100. Fantastic movie. Dear God is Greg Kinnear. It's a movie about people that work in a post office and how they handle letters to God. Interesting movie. 3 stars, 61 out of 100. Then I watched Stop Making Sense. Stop Making Sense is Stop Making Sense. 5 stars is what it is. I'm currently wearing a Stop Making Sense shirt. Love this movie to death. Then I went to see my movie / at a film festival, and it was a blast seeing it with a full audience. They really liked it. Really proud of this one. It is currently up for like a premiere thing on YouTube. It is releasing on October 31st at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. So be ready. I'm very excited to hear what people think.
Yeah, I need to watch this still.
The next short, I'll send you a link. The next short is Gummo, or not next short. The next movie I watched is Gummo, 98 out of 100. I love Gummo. I just picked up the 4K. It's somewhere up there. I love Gummo to death. I think that it is one of the most beautifully put together films about just people doing things. I love slice of life movies like that, and I think that this movie does it very well. I then watched Out of the Static, which is a cool idea. 5 minutes, directed by Morgan Thomas. It's cool. It's on YouTube. Then I watched Speak No Evil, the remake, because me and my dad were looking for a horror movie to watch, and we landed on that one. Thought I was going to hate it. Really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars, 77 out of 100, possibly the biggest surprise. Was shocked with how much I liked it.
Have you seen the original, sorry?
I have. Again, it has been a while.
Dude.
But
the dance scene, switching the music out to Cotton Eye Joe, is the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It's so funny.
It really upset me that they changed that shot. They were screaming like outwards instead of screaming in each other's faces. That bothered me. But
yeah.
That's nitpicking. It's a really, really good remake. If they were going to do a remake, I'm happy that they did it.
Hey, Evan, shout out to that scene in New Girl where Nick is doing this to Cotton Eye Joe.
Yeah.
In the car.
Peak. Oh, yeah. It's peak.
Yeah.
My next watch, the Oogie Loves in Big Balloon Adventure.
You've already talked about this.
Why'd you watch this again?
That movie exists. 4.5, 84 out of 100. I guarantee you are not finding another movie like it anywhere. I'll pay you $1 if you can find a movie like the Oogie Loves. Genuinely.
What about Thingu?
No.
Oh, that's peak.
Dude.
Thingu is one of the greatest claymation experiences of all time.
It is not claymation. It is whatever that is. So. Next, Funny Games. Just a part of the Halloween rounds. I love Funny Games. I think it is fantastic. 93 out of 100. Very high format. Next, Saw 7. Saw 3D. Best movie in the Saw
I
franchise.
cannot. This is such an ill take. Okay. I don't mean to delay the pod. Saw 3D has the trap that flips my stomach the most out of any other Saw movie. But this is not a good movie. The fish hook in the stomach with the sound is... I've never felt so uncomfortable watching a Saw trap than I do watching this one. But this movie is one of the ugliest movies I've ever seen in my entire life. Oh my god, it looks so bad. I love the opening with Chester. Rest in peace. It's great. And like,
Okay. Can we talk about for a sec how Chester Bennington, a guy who killed himself because of mental illness, Linkin Park has now put in a new lead singer who is a known Scientologist and a person who is known for speaking out against mental illness and how it's not real.
That's
How fucked is that?
so tone deaf.
Like, come on, guys. Come on, Mike. Sorry.
We
love
here's
Mike Shinoda.
like about Saw 7. I'll
yeah.
justify.
I think I mean, again, I love Saw. It's one of my favorite horror franchises. But the victim thing is really cliche. So, but it's better than the Hoffman stuff. Like, Saw 5 is so fucking boring, and Hoffman is the worst character ever. Oh my god, he's so bad. This is not my least favorite Saw movie, but a 4.5 is fucking nuts.
Here's what I'm here to say about Saw 7.
Yeah.
Number 1, the visual style. It's the same visual style that you have with like Terrifier 2 and 3. It's weird, schlocky B movie, and it's the first Saw movie I saw that had a vision for what it wanted to look like. Like, there are moments where they'll be inside of a building, and it's like day, but everything outside is black, and they do like this weird sort of stage play thing with it, and I love the visuals of this one more than I do any of the other Saw movies. I like that it sort of just says, no one cared about the story we were putting, and this is from Jay's review, because he phrases it really well. Shout out to Jay. Go follow him if you don't. He says that they say, throw away the story. No one cares about the story. No one cares about what we've been doing in the last couple of movies. They think it's boring. Let's just kill people. And then they make a movie that is just 90 minutes of just people in traps. And everything else is completely minimal. And the traps are the most disgusting in the franchise, in my opinion. It's just a blast. And that's what people wanted out of a Saw movie, and I feel like it totally delivers on it. And then they got mad when it was what people wanted the movies to be. That's what I think. I love it. I gave it a 4.5. My dad gave it a 4. So it was a good movie night. It worked. Next I have Saint Chroma. It's on Letterboxd for some reason. It's the teaser for the new Tyler, the Creator album. That's cool. Then I watched Daddy's Head. This movie was
peak.
Really? I don't know.
I give it a 4-star. Loved it.
I give it a 2.5. It's cool, but it's really forgettable. Like, it's boring. A couple of things happen. The first scare happens 37 minutes into 37 minutes into a 90-minute movie. That's not good. But it is what it is. Then I watched The Ninth Circle, which was just a part of All Hallows Eve. I gave All Hallows Eve a 2.5. It was fine. Then I watched Coraline for the first time in about 9 years. And I was very, very happy with it. I gave it a 4-star. Really cool movie. Smile 2, 4 stars. Biggest sequel step-up I've seen in a while. First, Smile, I have it 1 star. I think it's really bad and really boring. There were some jump scares in this that really got me. It was scary. It was a lot of fun. The ending's predictable, but it sets up really well for Smile 3. And I really love the promotional stuff that they're doing with this movie. They're releasing Sky Riley's songs onto the radio and just playing it like real music. I think that's really cool. Talk to Me, 4.5. A work of art is the Ice Nine Kills music video for Terrifier 3. 15 minutes long. It's cool. The Mean One. If you get the chance.
That's David Howard Thornton as well, right?
Yeah, he plays the Grinch.
Yeah.
I predict a 4.5 to a 5 for you on this movie. I think you're going to love it. And Evan, if you're looking for a horror comedy movie to fill the Hooptober spot, this movie has a 1.8 average. I gave it a 4.5. It is a lot of fun. He impales someone with a giant candy cane in this movie, and
Hell yeah.
it's so stupid. It's really bad, but it's great. Then Pan's Labyrinth, we'll get to that when we get there. And then the Ten Commandments from 1956. I gave this a 5. I gave it a 98 out of 100. Stunning film. Absolutely stunning. It's about 4 hours long. Really great stuff. Really, really great.
Could have watched Village of the Damned.
Yeah, that's true.
But didn't. And I split it up into like 30-minute pieces.
Could have also watched Unforgiven.
All right, Evan, leave him alone. All right? He did what we agreed on. He watched at least 50% of the movies. Okay. I'll finish it up. So, after recording last week, I rewatched The First Omen. Speaking of Ralph Ineson, this movie rips.
Speaking of fucking coming my ass.
Yeah. Dude, this movie's so good. The gore is few and far between in this movie, but it is dope. I never thought I wanted to see a demon's hand come out of a woman's vagina, but this movie proved me wrong. This movie's creepy. It's effective. I really love it, and it makes me want to get into the rest of the Omen movies. Then I rewatched Thor 3.5. Kenneth Branagh directed the absolute mother-loving shit out of this movie. It just feels very Shakespearean, which is how I feel Thor should be. Is very Shakespearean, because that's how he is in the comics. I think if you blended Kenneth Branagh and Taika Waititi's directing, that would be the perfect Thor movie. But yeah, I love Thor. I have a blast. And then I rewatched The Avengers, the first one. This is a top 5 Marvel movie for me. It's perfect. Whether you like it or not, this movie changed cinema forever. It's the first of its kind. It's incredible. Rewatched. Oh, and then I watched Waves. I'm going to talk about this movie for a second. And Jagger, have you seen Waves?
God damn it. You need to watch Waves.
You need to watch Waves. Few reasons I loved this movie. There are 2 aspect ratio changes. I love it when directors do this. Especially not just because it looks cool, but to add deeper meaning to the movie. And boy, does it add deeper meaning. Yeah. The aspect ratios in this represent a tonal shift in the movie, which I found very interesting and added a lot of depth to the film for me.
Take your controller off the fucking table.
Did you hear that? Was it
loud? It was so loud.
Oh shit, my bad, guys. The cinematography in this movie is really interesting. Specifically, the first 20 minutes, there's a lot of these like pan tracking shots that'll like track someone and then have like a steady cam shot and then just like, you know, I can't remember what the term is, but when it's like one of those quick pans where it's like, what is that, Jagger?
A whip pan.
A whip pan. Yeah. It'll like track someone and then a steady cam and then it'll like whip pan to over here and track them. All in like a long take without cutting. It's you see all these terms I'm using, Jagger? And I'm using them correctly?
Yeah.
The scene, like you're talking about the first 20 minutes, when they're in the like no top Jeep, listening to Frank Ocean, standing, kicking the legs out the windows, it's just...
Yeah. And Jagger, it's in like these 7-minute long takes of just tracking, whip pans, steady cam shots. Oh, it's incredible.
You're gonna favorite A24 movie, and it's in my top 10 favorite movies of all time.
The cinematography in this movie alone is worth a 4, easily. You're gonna love this movie, Jagger. It's so good.
Is it on Max?
No, I had to sail the 7 seas. And Jagger doesn't do that because he hates pop-ups.
But I do want to watch Sing Sing. So like,
oh, it's so good, dude. Oh my god.
But yeah, this was incredible. I don't know if Lainey is going to be listening to this, but she's the one that got me to watch this, that finally pushed me to watch it. She is in my... Dude, I know. Evan told me to watch it like a year ago, or we haven't even known each other for a year. Like 5 months ago. And then Lainey told me to watch it, and I was like, yeah, I guess I'll watch it. Shout out to Lainey from my film analysis class. Thank you for the recommendation. And Evan. And Jagger, have you seen It Comes at Night?
Oh, is that movie where the poster's like the deer in the black?
Yeah, so it's the same director. Trey Edward Schultz.
Let me tell you about a little movie called Krisha.
Yeah, is it good? Is Trey Edward Schultz just like an underrated god?
Yeah, I have Krisha at a 5-star. Krisha is a... Okay, take any movie like Uncut Gems, Punch Drunk Love, take that sense of anxiety and cram it into a family gathering at Thanksgiving into 70 minutes.
Fuck that.
Directed by Trey Edward Schultz, where you just want to shut it off because you're so uncomfortable and disturbed, and you'll get Krisha. It is about... It's about...
it's a boot.
Yeah. But, you know, the snow came, so the Canadian accent comes. Krisha, it's the aunt's name, and she is very excluded from the family for things that you'll find out when you watch the movie. And nobody really knows that she's coming, and it's this fucking 70-minute masterpiece in anxiety and tension, and it touches on substance abuse and family matters, depression, anxiety. It is fucking amazing. Krisha is good. It's based off of a short film he did, and he made it into a feature length. It's so good, dude. Trey Edward Schultz is him. I've been preaching it for so long. I'm so happy that you loved Waves, and that It Comes at Night it's fucking peak. That's a high 4-star for me.
I think I have It Comes at Night at a 4.5.
Hell yeah. Yeah, watch Krisha. Krisha's fucking awesome. It's really good.
Yeah, but Jagger, you need to watch Waves, dude.
Yeah, watch Waves. Waves is so
It's
good.
immaculate.
It's
Make it your next watch.
Without spoiling anything, Waves is kind of split into 2 halves, and both halves are unique, but
in their own way, and equally great.
Yeah, they're equally great in different ways, and they touch on different things. But it just hits, like, you just dissect your heart, and it's like this fucking arrow where it's like, I'm gonna hit that, like, yeah, it just fucking, it tugs the heartstrings. There's a Radiohead needle drop in it that is insane.
Dude, the needle drops in this movie go crazy.
It's so good. There's a Alabama Shakes needle drop in the end credits that is insane. It's so fucking good. I watched Waves in, I don't remember what year it came out. Maybe 15, 16. And I immediately told my entire family that they needed to watch it, and I watched it again the next day and showed all of them it, and then I watched it again the day after by myself.
19.
Oh yeah, damn! I did not know I was that old. Fuck, I'm so old. God. Yeah, Waves is fucking amazing. It's peak. I'm glad I finally watched it, and yeah, Jagger, you'll love it. You'll
Jagger, did you like my use of my film terms there?
I was very proud of you, Trey. You did great.
I'm sorry,
No, it's all good, Evan. It's all good.
Is fucking...
Dude, it's been a while since the three of us have been together, and it's nice, you know?
Yeah. Hour and 25 minutes in, and we haven't even gotten to our first movie.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to try to speed this up. Rewatch Smile, still peak. The scene that scares me the most is when she's in her car and you see her sister walk out to her car and her head drops down, smiling. Dude, and that jump scare is in the trailer, and I'd seen the trailer multiple times, and even when it happened, I was like, I just shit my pants.
It makes me so mad that shot is in the trailer, because there are so many effective jump scares in this movie, and that is a thing that is few and far between. And I was expecting it when I watched it, you know? If it wasn't in the trailer, I would have been like, oh yeah, you know, you just brought a fucking dead cat to my kid's birthday party. I'm mad at you. Sorry, spoilers. And then you get this jump scare. It's so good. It's such a good jump scare. And
yeah. And it's good because you're expecting it and it still gets you.
Yeah, but you're expecting a jump scare, but you're not expecting that jump scare. Like, I haven't seen Smile 2 yet. I'm gonna see it, and I can't fucking wait to see it, but I can't imagine that it's that different from the first one, that Jagger would give the first one a 1.5 and the second one a 4-star. Like, that's crazy.
Just the one. It is a 3-star jump.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And in my opinion, Smile 2 is the most effective jump scare I've ever seen.
Let me tell you about a little film called The Exorcist 3. Because you missed it last week, Jagger, but I watched The Exorcist 3, and it's one of the best horror movies I've ever seen.
One of the most effective jump scares for me, personally, because it's one that consistently gets me with every watch, is in Hereditary, when Alex Wolff comes down to find his dad's, like, scorched body, and what's her face, the mom, what's that actress? Toni Collette. I was about to say Terry, but I was like, that's not right. Toni Collette, she comes out of the corner, like, sprinting at him. No matter how many, I think I've seen Hereditary 7 times, that will always scare me. I'm always like,
it's not the jump scares, and again, me and Trey, I've brought it up so many times, you know, it's spooky season. I'm trying to talk about horror as much as I can, but
yeah,
it's the head banging, it's the piano wire, that shit.
The head banging, dude.
It's the unnatural shit that natural humans do that really scares me. There's a shot in Gonjiam Haunted Asylum. There's a shot in Ouija Origin of Evil. I glaze that movie so hard because it does that thing, and I don't know what it is, but it just really, it puts me on edge. It makes my fucking skin crawl. I get the goosebumps. Yeah.
I'm looking for any excuse to talk about Audition again.
Oh, the dagger, the tick 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 tick. Like,
yes, that.
Oh my god, that scene. The hair on my arm just stood up. That scene is so disturbing, purely because of the noises she makes during that. If it was silent, cut the disturbing factor by 50%. It's her making noises like a fucking schoolgirl. Oh, I had literal nightmares about that noise the day after I watched that movie. Like, it's so creepy.
Yeah.
It's that unnaturalness that just scares me, yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's some in the Paranormal Activity movies that still jump scare. Because, let's be honest, the Paranormal Activity movies, those are jump scare movies. That's how they scare you. The jump scares. And the one in the first one, and God, this is another tangent. And then I'm gonna finish up watch list and we're gonna bust through our movies. Because I know it's like, God, it's almost 11 for Jagger.
10:45.
I don't work tomorrow, so I don't.
Wake up in 7 hours.
Fuck. All right, we got to hurry this up. But there are certain, like, subgenres of horror that scare different people. But then there are certain really small, niche things that scare people. And like Evan just talked about what scares him the most. The thing that scares me the most is when the camera is on like a dark hallway or a dark area and you hear footsteps but you don't see where they're coming from. That shit scares the ever-living shit out of me. So there's a scene in the first Paranormal Activity, or it might be the second one, when the lead lady, you hear her running towards like whatever the camera is, like out of the dark, and I get so scared every time. I'm like, it's like what's the term we talked about? What that they do in editing, where they cut between two events really fast. You know what I'm talking about, Jagger? That
I think it's a montage. It's some
but it like increases the rapidity of the cuts to build tension. Oh God!
Is that not a rhythm or like a rhythmic montage or something? Dude.
Well, I know there's rhythmic editing, but I don't think, dude, because I take notes in class.
Oh yeah.
Because we were talking about editing this week.
I know what you're talking about too.
Fuck yeah.
Cross-cutting.
That's it.
Yeah, building tension with increase in the rapidity of cuts.
Yes.
Yeah. It like that. The feeling you get from cross-cutting is the feeling I get from the footsteps, dude. Okay, moving on. Sorry, I'm like becoming a film nerd.
I love it.
Yes.
And I know Jagger loves it because it's been a long time of me just being a film bro and Jagger being a film intellectual. But yeah, like cross-cutting, that feeling of like anxiousness it builds, which it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
That's what I get from the footsteps.
Oh,
yeah.
I love that.
And then I watched for the first time Last Flag Flying, the Richard Linklater movie with Lawrence Fishburne, Bryan Cranston, and Steve Carell. It's exactly what you'd expect it to be, a 3.5. Doesn't do anything crazy, doesn't take any risks. But it's heartwarming. And then the only other movie I watched was for class, and I watched it last night.
Tell me about it, dude. Because we were going to watch party it, and I really want to see it.
Girl Interrupted.
Yeah.
Wait. You've not seen it?
Evan has not
I really
seen it.
Want to.
It's so good.
It's gonna die. Great. All for like 30 seconds. Just give my laptop charger.
Okay. Outside of Jared Leto looking like Zac Efron in this movie, this movie is absolutely incredible. I watched it for my History Through Film U.S. Women and Gender class, and talking about society's views on female mental health in the 60s, and mental health in the 60s overall. I'm going to get that notebook out, actually, my notebook for that class, because we talked about this today. Oh, God. And, like, there's, like, one scene in it where Winona Ryder talks about, like, the difference between female how many women or how many men does a woman have to sleep with to be considered promiscuous, and how many women does a man have to sleep with to be considered promiscuous, which is a really interesting scene because it's a fact that still rings true today, that there's this double standard of, like, if a woman sleeps with like 15 men, she's considered promiscuous or a slut. But like if a guy sleeps with 15 women, he's considered just a playa, or like, good for you, dude, you know? So it's this weird double standard that they definitely comment on.
Get the practice in for the paper now. Keep it rolling.
Well, I mean, it's really interesting because movies that were coming out during this time, even if they were progressive for the female lead, the female lead, like, there was always these traditional gender roles reinforced in the last 15 minutes. So the female lead could make a bunch of progress, be a strong, powerful, independent woman, but then in the last 15 minutes, she would end up marrying the man, no matter how awful. I mean, we talked about it with Pillow Talk, with Doris Day and Rock Hudson. Rock Hudson spends this entire movie manipulating Doris Day's character, and then she ends up being like, you're okay, and they end up married together, and she becomes a housewife and has kids. So it's like this thing where they would emulate all this progressiveness for women and create this really great life, but then they would end up taking it all back in the end. But then you watch movies that are based around this time period, but that have come out more recently, and like in this one, Winona Ryder ends up in the end being like a strong, independent female, not feeling the need for a relationship and going into like a male-dominated field for a career. So that was definitely really interesting too. And I never logged A Raisin in the Sun, so I watched that this week too with Sidney Poitier. And boy, that Sidney Poitier, that guy can act, man.
Yeah.
That movie is also incredible. Even in its historic context as well. And like Sidney Poitier being one of the first big African American Hollywood stars is super cool. It was at the time, this was one of the first like movies with a majority African American cast. There's only one person in this movie that's not African American, which is really interesting. But yeah, just all around interesting stuff. We're an hour and 40 in, and we are going to get into our movies for the day. So we're going to do what we usually start with. We're going to start with Carpenter. We're going to do Village of the Damned, and then we're going to do In the Mouth of Madness. So we'll do the one Jagger hasn't seen, and then the one Jagger has seen, so we can finish the episode of Pan's Labyrinth. Village of the Damned. It's nothing crazy. Carpenter goofiness. You got Mark Hamill. Definitely a complete switch from the other role we've seen him play in a Carpenter movie in Body Bags. More of a reserved role. He went from being an unhinged lunatic who wanted to rape and murder his wife to a nice priest, which was definitely interesting. We get Christopher Reeve, R.I.P. This was the first time I'd seen him in anything outside of Superman. So that was cool. Yeah, I don't know. Children of the Corn vibes, but they did it better. Even if the sequels were shitty, I'd be more interested in seeing a Village of the Damned franchise than a Children of the Corn franchise, with like the aliens and stuff. I think there could have been some cool stuff there. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Evan?
Yeah, it's pretty silly. Like, aliens do this big flash and it hits this town and impregnates every woman. And then there's this like abortion baby death scene, and then all the kids spawn, and it's like Children of the Corn. They got white hair. It's this little cult going on. I had fun. I docked my score because it reminded me of Children of the Corn, which may be unfair. It's pretty entertaining. There's some pretty funny shots. Didn't hate my time with it. I'm probably on the same page as Trey, 3 stars, but I docked it 0.5 just because of the Children of the Corn. So I give it 2.5. It's worth watching if you want a silly movie. It's much better than Children of the Corn.
Oh, easily.
Yeah, it's nothing offensive, but nothing too special.
I mean, let's be clear. It's not better than Children of the Corn 3, but
yeah, that
it's
was
still
fucking
good.
peak. That's a good time. Yeah, it's fine. It's better. I had a better time with it than The Invisible Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. In the Mouth of Madness, what might be Evan's favorite Carpenter movie. I really
Second
enjoyed it.
favorite.
Second, what's your favorite?
The Thing. But it's
Oh,
right there.
yeah.
It's like the little brother that's born. Imagine there's twins, but the second twin is born like a week later.
Yeah. Okay.
That's In the Mouth of Madness for me.
Okay. Um, I gave it a 4. Jagger, what do you have this at? 2 stars, I'm guessing?
Yeah, I said it a 3-star.
2.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
3-star.
So you don't hate it, you just don't love
I
it.
just don't love it. I think it's okay, and I think it's really forgettable.
Okay.
Yeah, me and
Evan,
Jagger
why
did
don't
a-
you start
We
off
did
the
a-
conversation, and Jagger will and then I'll come in at the end to kind of even things out.
Yeah, me and Jagger did a film trade. He said, I'll watch In the Mouth of Madness if you watch To Live and Die in LA. And I was like, fuck yeah, this is 2 insane W's. I'm going to love To Live and Die in LA. He's going to love In the Mouth of Madness. I watched To Live and Die in LA. I gave it a 4.5. Thought it was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
He goes, I did not like In the Mouth of Madness very much. And I was distraught. This is one of the most creative horror movies I've ever seen. Sam Neill, it kicks off in this insane asylum, and Sam Neill is tweaking the fuck out, and you're like, oh, what's going on here? And then he's this insurance investigator. This will be, mild spoilers to the entire plot. So I'll try and keep it spoiler free. I'll let you know to skip ahead if I get into any big spoilers, but I'll be talking about the plot here. Yeah, he's this insurance guy, and there's this famous author, Sutter Kane, who has gone missing, and he's written a lot of famous horror novels, so they're like, oh, go check him out. And he's with this girl, I can't remember her name, and Sam Neill's, he's piecing his mind, and he's reading all of Sutter Kane's books until he realizes that all the covers have this connection, and he cuts the covers out, and it builds this map to this place. I can't remember the name. Lost something. And it's this fucking sick ass moment where all the covers fit together, and it's like, oh, okay, where are we going now? They go to the town, and he's still very skeptical, and things start to get wacky. And his assistant that he's with is like fully on board the skeptic train, and he's like, well, there's this great scene where he's like, well, if it was real, this town, because he has this map, but he also doesn't think the town's real, and he's like, well, there should be a church right over there with black like steep temples and tall pillars, and it's not there. And he opens the windows, there's nothing there, and she's like, you fucking idiot, it's this way. And she opens the windows, and it's exactly what he describes, like to a T. And
it's so good.
Oh my god. And then you get this sick scene at this church with some dogs. It's super creepy and really intense. I don't want to detail plot like point by point, but I just want to point out some scenes, because if you haven't seen this movie, please watch it. There's a scene at a bar where he's talking, because I'm gonna be all over the place here, but my favorite thing with this movie is where he tries to reason with
Evan,
people.
just to interrupt you real quick,
Yeah.
I'll be right back, but Evan's going to keep the conversation going. I will be back in just a sec.
My favorite thing with this movie is Sam Neill talking to people in this town, and he's trying to reason with them, and they're like, I can't do anything. Sutter wrote me this way. I'm destined to do what he says. And you get this sense of dread, and you watch spoilers for the next 3 minutes. you get this shot where he's talking to the barkeeper, and the barkeeper's got a fucking shotgun in his mouth, and Sam Neill's like, "Don't do it," and he's like, "It's not my choice. Like, I didn't want this to happen." And the barkeeper fucking blows his own brains out with the shotgun, and then you get the scene where he fucking KOs the girl. He absolutely sucker punches her and knocks her out and puts her in the car, and he's like, "We're getting out of here." All the townspeople, you're like, okay, Sutter Kane clearly has a full hold of all of the town, and he's trying to get out. And it leads to this church where he meets Sutter Kane, and he's like, "Well, what's going on here? I'm all over the place, skipping over a lot, but I don't really give a fuck. I'm just talking about scenes I like." Sutter Kane says the hardest shit ever to him, because Sam Neill realizes that he's in this book himself, whether he likes it or not, and you can clearly tell it from the whole like foreshadowing with the beginning and being in this mental asylum and the walls being covered in crosses. And at the beginning, there's a guy who's like, "Well, I heard you want to get out." And Samuel's like, "No, the fuck I don't. I want to stay right here where it's safe." And Sutter Kane is giving this monologue where he goes, "I think, therefore you are." And
no, it's "I write, therefore you are."
Oh, really? Oh, shit.
I think that's the line.
Anyway, it's something like that. It's fucking nuts. It's such a good line. But I was just saying, Trey, about how I love the characters in the town wanting to be different, but they physically can't because that's how they're written, and the barkeeper blowing his head out. But like, this interaction between, and again, this movie's 90 minutes. It's paced insanely well, and it kind of plays into this like Stephen King thing almost, where you have this horror icon writer where everyone buys the book no matter what, and I really love that. But there's a scene in this movie that cements it as one of my all-time favorite movies ever, where Sam Neill's like, they're in this church, and Sam Neill's like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. And he's like, "No, you're not. But like, I mean, you can leave, but like, you're doing what I say." And Sutter Kane takes the girl, and he fucking rips the screen open, and it's words on a page. He rips the back of the church open, and it peels away like paper, and it's words on a page like a book, and he walks into it, and it is one of the coolest visuals I've ever seen in my entire life. And then the ending, when he's sitting in the movie theater, it's fucking peak. This movie is a ton of fun. It's just so creative. It plays on horror tropes like I love when Carpenter does, and it plays on a trope that I don't think is really used that often, and it's like kind of a meta thing almost with the iconic horror writer like the Stephen Kings of the world. I think it's fucking genius. It's a 5-star for me. It's in my top 10 of all time. It's my number 2 Carpenter. I think it's as good as The Thing. It's very different, but it's as good. I adore it. It's just such a fucking blast. Yeah. It's just awesome. Yeah.
Well, Jagger, you want to discount everything Evan just said?
Yeah. I mean, me and Jagger have talked about it before, but like, yeah.
Movie's lame.
Such an L. It's such an L.
What a great way to come into the conversation. Evan spends 5 to 7 minutes just glazing like he's obviously thought all of this through, and Jagger just comes in, "This movie's lame."
Lame is a crazy way to talk about this creative-ass horror movie. When you're stuck in this...
Feels like
you're stuck in this world of generic horror, and you get something as creative as this that is so, like, nobody talks about In the Mouth of Madness when you talk about John Carpenter.
Maybe it's for a reason. Maybe there's a reason they talk about Halloween and The Thing.
Oh my god. Yeah, because there's a slasher who wears a funny mask. Too bad the movie's fucking boring. Sorry.
Sorry. No.
Hell yeah.
Okay, Jagger, seriously, why don't you like this movie?
I don't know. It's really boring and forgettable. It's the same reason I don't like Daddy's Head. It's just a movie that I watched and then by the next month forgot I'd watched it. That's really it. It's just another movie that I watched, and that's all it was to me. I don't know.
Fair.
I think that's it.
Okay, I didn't like this as much as as much as Evan did, but I didn't hate it as much as Jagger did. I gave this a 4-star. I think it's good with a heart, but anything 2.5 and above, I usually give a heart. So, I'm pretty liberal with my hearts. I ain't no heart cheapskate like Evan over here. Evan gives out 5 stars like I give out hearts.
I gave Village of the Damned a heart, so go fuck yourself.
But yeah, I mean, I think this is a really creative movie. I obviously love Sam Neill. One thing I want to point out that Evan, you talked about really liking and you thought was really good, the pacing. It took a while for me to get into it. Actually, no, that's not true. I was really into it in the beginning, the middle dragged, and then the end was really great. But by the end of the movie, I was like, God, this felt like forever.
Yeah.
I don't think it's paced great. Because it's 90 minutes, but it feels like it's 2 hours.
Oh my god.
I think that the practical effects, while they're not Carpenter's best, like I think we see better practical effects in The Thing. I think we see better practical effects in They Live.
Well, I agree with you for sure, but I think it's something that is unique to his other body horror and normal gore, because it's not a super gory movie by any means.
No.
Or violent, but the set design.
Yeah, that's all really cool. But again, this just feels like, I don't know, it just felt like Event Horizon to me. It felt like John Carpenter's Event Horizon.
You're saying that like it's a negative.
No, and I know it's not a negative, but like you're talking about how this feels like super original and creative, and I'm like, sure, it's creative, but I don't think it's original.
I think its play on the horror writer is really interesting, because that's something we don't see a lot. You know,
yeah, but it's been done before. You know,
you get Sinister with a true crime writer, but where do you see a horror novel writer who is acclaimed and it plays
like in a horror movie?
Yeah, and it plays on like
Salem's Lot.
Okay, well, I haven't seen that, so
that book came out like 30 years before this movie, and that the movie came out like 20 years before this movie. So, and I'm not discounting this movie because it's unoriginal or it's not creative. I do think it's creative, and I think it's an original in parts. But I also think it's, out of the great Carpenter films, it's one of the weaker ones. And I don't think it belongs in the conversation of the best Carpenter film at all.
We'll do our rankings next episode, and I'm excited to see what they are.
I think I have Halloween higher than this.
I'll say this:
An Invisible Man. That's my favorite.
I'll say this, Trey.
Jagger, shut up. You still have Halloween in your top, 2. Alright? That's insane.
It's my
top
John Carpenter.
That's crazy.
Shit. It's so fucking boring. Anyway, I'll say this, Trey, before we move on. When I saw you give this a 4 with a heart, I was very happy.
Yeah, and I'm not saying I really liked
you talk
it.
about it, and I am depressed.
I really liked it. I just think it has some problems.
You're here to balance me out. It's okay.
And it's kind of boring in some parts.
I don't agree with that part.
And that's totally fair.
I love the dynamic between every character. Anyway, I've glazed in the mouth of madness since I've seen it. I'll continue to. I don't give a fuck with spooky season. I'll probably watch this in December.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's cold wherever they live and wherever that town is. So it's a Christmas movie. You know what I mean? Also, I just want to put this out there. Sorry. I'm very excited to do a Christmas movie episode, draft, whatever we end up doing, because I feel like Christmas movies are very influential. Like, your favorites are very based on what you watched as a kid, and all of us being different ages, I think we're gonna have different lists, and I'm very excited for that.
Well, Jagger's not ready for one that's in my top 3.
Swear to God, if either of you have Elf in top 3.
Yeah,
how
about you get fucked because it's number 1?
Oh, that's crazy. Elf, it could not be farther from my.
How about number 2
3.
is A Christmas Story, the most racist movie ever made?
That's also not even close.
I love Christmas Story, but Elf is a very solid half-star. Elf
Agreed.
Is notably bad.
And I used to really love it, but
God.
I've seen Elf so many times that I'm just like, I'd rather put a knife in my eye, honestly.
I've seen Elf and A Christmas Story 24 times. Because I've watched them every single year since I was born.
Yeah, and that's really great for you, but I'd rather cut my own hand off with a dull butter knife than have to watch Elf again.
Well, we might be jumping the gun, but what's your sleeper pick here?
Oh, Daddy's Home 2.
Dude,
it's so funny. It's so funny.
I have no issue with that at all. None.
Oh, really? I thought you hated that movie.
I don't like Daddy's Home 1, but Daddy's Home 2 is a Christmas movie.
Holy shit. That's
Dude,
crazy.
Daddy's Home 2 is so fucking hilarious.
I have no issue with that at all.
Okay, let's go to IMDb, honestly. Let's talk about it.
Wow. The day has come when me and Jagger agree and are teaming up on Evan.
We'll be talking about this tomorrow, Trey. We'll be talking about Christmas movies until we find one we agree on. But we're going to talk about, I think, 1992's... 1992, I think, is the year. Clint Eastwood Western. Unforgiven. Me and Trey watched this. Jagger hasn't seen it yet. But I hope he does. I'm curious to see what he thinks. Because... me and Trey are gonna have a conversation because we both really loved 90% of this movie, and I love the ending, and he doesn't.
Yeah, the ending kind of ruined the movie for me.
I gave this movie a 4.5. He gave it a 3.5, and his review said, "Fuck this ending." Before we dive in, because I feel like most of our conversation will be about the ending, because it's your pretty. Did you get the True Grit vibes? That kind of revenge thing.
Yeah,
a bit of a slow burn.
Yeah,
I felt it was pretty basic until the scene where this is gonna be spoilers for Unforgiven. Just because there's scenes I want to talk about. The scene where Clint Eastwood shoots the kid in the leg or whatever, or in the stomach, and he wants the water. You know what scene I'm talking about, Trey?
Yeah.
That was a really interesting scene for me, and it gave some more depth because everyone's like, "Oh, you missed him. You didn't kill him," and Clint Eastwood's just like, "Oh, I killed him. Like, I fucking killed him." and you just listen to this kid slowly die, and he's like, you can tell, like, of course, Clint Eastwood, hard and badass. You know, he's a fucking cowboy. He's killed people.
Yeah.
But, like, this is where you see death. And I thought that was really interesting. I didn't love he gets fucked up and then gets sick and has a fever and then it's winter. Like, I didn't love that time jump as much. That wasn't my favorite thing. I would have rather seen a bit more of the voyage, like more Morgan Freeman, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
One question I have for you, like, and this is a big spoiler, so Jagger, if you want to go spoiler free into this, Devin, but did you like how they handled Morgan Freeman's character and the fallout with it?
Yeah, because I think his character arc and how his character is essential to Clint Eastwood's character arc.
Did you want that to be more like on screen than it was?
So, do you just want me to go into my thoughts for this movie?
Yeah, but yeah, and when you're in your thoughts, I'm curious about, like, because I like the and again, Gene Hackman is so fucking good as the villain here, Little Billy or whatever the fuck his name is, but I would have liked maybe one more scene with Morgan Freeman, because I think the final confrontation you kind of get where he's got him strung up and he's like, you know, telling him how he's going to torture him is really intimidating. But I would have liked one more scene before you know he's dead.
Yeah.
It felt a little abrupt. But yeah, let me know.
So for this movie, I really liked the first 100 minutes.
Yeah.
It was, for me, it was this slow burn drama and a look at a man who was confronting his life and trying to come to terms with his past. Like, Clint Eastwood used to be like this ruthless, like, assassin, like, hitman, and now has, like, kids, and he was married but his wife died, and he's like, he's not drinking anymore, and so he's trying. And, like, even I loved the sequence with him and the fever, because even then he talks about how he's so afraid of dying. And, like, how he saw his wife, but his wife's face was covered in blood, and how he's so scared of dying, and how he's seen the angel of death. And I thought it was this really interesting look at, like, a man coming to terms with his own mortality, and in doing so is making him and Ned reconsider how they feel about taking someone else's life. Because they're at the end of their lives, they're coming to terms with what it means to die and thinking about, like, what kind of legacy they're leaving. And I just really loved that. I loved this, like, introspective, like, character study that was going on. And then the last 10 minutes just turns into this really dumb, stupid, like, alright, I'm gonna go kill some guys. Like, it just, like, it feels like the last 10 minutes just shits on everything that Clint Eastwood's character was, like, building, and he was, like, redeeming himself. And then it's just like, yeah, no, he hasn't actually changed. He's still, like, a ruthless murderer. And I just really hated it. I thought it felt severely out of tone for the rest of the movie. Like, it was, like, I don't know what happened. I thought the shootout, like, I'm a fan of a good shootout. When you watch Tombstone, you'll see one of the greatest shootouts of all time. But This one was just so dumb. Like the fact that there's like 6 guys with guns in that bar, and he takes a solid 6 or 7 seconds to take them all out, and the fact that not a single one of them shot him,
Yeah.
even
He turns
like in the
into
leg
Neo.
or grazed him, I thought was so dumb. I'm like, all right, I'm done with this fucking movie.
Yeah. I'll give you that I did rewind that scene to make sure that he didn't get shot.
Yeah, I thought that was really stupid.
Once the shootout goes down and it's just him and Little Bill, I like the it kind of feels like this acceptance in life and death, and this it's this denial of the it's not like a denial of the afterlife, but like denial of mercy. Little Bill is asking for mercy as if he's gonna get it. It doesn't feel like this pleading. It feels like bargaining almost.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the way Gene Hackman did it is that he thinks that there's a possibility where he's gonna get it, and I love the. I pulled the quote out. I don't deserve this to die like this. I was building a house, is what Gene Hackman says. And Clint Eastwood, he takes a minute and he says, Deserve got nothing to do with it. And then he fucking blows his head off after Gene Hackman says, We'll see you in hell, William. And he goes, yeah, like John Wick. So I'll give you that it's like this stereotypical, Western good guy gets the bad guy, and I love that acceptance of life and death, because I think from the moment where it's when they find out where Ned died, and Clint Eastwood takes a swig of whiskey, and it's like his first time drinking,
Yeah.
I really love that scene because Clint Eastwood's like this, he's by the rules, and he's, I don't drink, I don't do this, yeah. But at that point, it's like this abandonment in his rules, but still, you can sense the remorse and like feeling of humanity in him. So I love this ending where you get this standoff that kind of questions the humanity, because Little Bill is questioning it, where he's trying to poke, pull at the heartstrings, and Clint Eastwood's like, fuck all that shit. So I 100% get where you're coming from, but I think maybe give me a little more Bill. Sorry, not Bill, Ned. Or a little more reaction to Ned. I could see changing the ending up, but from what we got, where it's kind of one scene, it turns from a job about, taking out prostitutes to pure vengeance, and you get Clint Eastwood questioning humanity, but like just being this hardened person even more than he already was. So I kind of bounce back and forth where I like where it ends up, where he's a product of his own environment, not own environment, but of the environment around him, where Ned dies and he's just this fucking badass and he taps into it and he's abandoned his own rules. But also, I think it'd be interesting to explore, maybe he does let Bill go and something like that. I it could have gone both ways, and I like where it went, but also I'd be curious to see if it went another way.
Well, I think it did go another way with another Eastwood movie when we watch Gran Torino, because
Yeah.
it's the same case. You have this old timer who's questioning his life decisions as he's coming to death, and questioning his own mortality because of all the people he's killed. And that, in Gran Torino's case, it's all the kids he killed in Vietnam. But then at the end of Gran Torino, you don't have him, like, after all this character development to, like, be a better person, you know? You don't have him going back to killing. He still gets his revenge on, like, the gang, but he never kills anyone. And that's what I think that Eastwood should have done here. But, I mean, that's just where we differ in opinions.
No.
You know?
I like that opinion, and I almost wonder if... I mean, he directed both movies, so I almost wonder if he, like, borrowed from that feeling, because I do like that idea of acceptance in his reality, but, you know, you're making a Western, maybe you get the Hollywood impulse where it's like, oh yeah, make a shootout, but also, like... Yeah, no, I like what you're saying, where Gran Torino is a very similar story in a troubled person who has a lot of family issues, and in Gran Torino it's acceptance, but yeah, like, I'm gonna do the right thing, but I'm gonna fucking die. And the other one is acceptance, I'm gonna take out the bad guy, like Gran Torino, but I'm gonna fucking kill everybody else too and live my life and prosper and drag good. So no, I like what you're saying, and I think it's another good idea. I'm curious if it's like a product of the times.
Yeah, or like where Clint Eastwood was at personally with his life.
And like, and he never... It's tough to say because I haven't seen a lot of the movies he's directed, but like, they're not crazy risk-taking movies. I do think Gran Torino takes pretty crazy risks. So yeah, no, I fully agree with you.
We need to move on. It's so late for Jagger, and he's falling asleep. But yeah, Unforgiven, check it out. Let us know your opinion on the ending.
Let's bust out Pan's Labyrinth.
Jagger, kick it off. Why didn't you like this?
Dude, I didn't care about it. And when you don't care about a movie and it's really stylistic and it has subtitles and you just can't get into it, it's really hard to watch it. And I found this movie to be an absolute chore to get through. I didn't finish it.
Can I ask where you turned it off?
Where I turned it off? At some point about hour 15 in, hour 10.
Okay.
And like, I don't know, I paid attention to as much as I could, but I just kept unconsciously zoning out. Like, I didn't...
Is there like a reason why you didn't care?
No, I just didn't connect with the characters at all. And like, I get what it was trying to say, and I'm sure it's a great film. But I just could not for the life of me pay attention to it. And I just found it to be incredibly painstakingly overindulgent in its style. And that's not a bad thing. Again, I'd like to make it clear, I don't have any complaints with this movie. It was just that I personally didn't connect to it in the slightest. And I found it to be a bit hard to focus on. But then again, that's just today. Maybe I'll watch it another time and like it a lot more. It might be a Persona situation, or maybe it's just a movie I don't love. But it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea because it's very, very stylistic and very set in its ways with its stylistic nature. And yeah, it just was not really my vibe.
Are you glad you watched it?
Yeah.
Or tried?
I'm glad I tried, because now I know what to expect if I ever want to return to it.
Yeah, watch the last hour, because it's peak.
It is. But yeah, Evan, I'll go, and then you can finish us up and send us off.
Yeah.
Because we're all falling asleep right now. So I'm in a similar plane as Jagger. I am not going into this. I didn't think I was gonna like it because one, it had been extremely hyped up for me, and that's never a good sign. Because like going in with insanely high expectations is never a good thing, you know. Sometimes it can be, but often it is a recipe for failure, or a recipe for a low rating. But I will tell you this, because the only other Guillermo movie I've seen is Pacific Rim, and didn't care for it. You know, didn't love the style. I got to be honest with you. The style in this, God, I was so in. I loved how it dealt with, like, how a lot of us, and this will come up when we talk about Marvel, how a lot of us deal with childhood trauma, like Evan said, with, like, these fantastical stories and, like, kind of escape. I mean, that's what movies are for me. So I loved that part of it. I think the visuals were really cool. One thing that you can always count on from Guillermo del Toro is cool character design. You know, he will never not be great at that. I mean, Jagger, I don't know if you watched it, but the sequence with the Pale Man, the guy with the eyes in his hands that's like this. Did you get to that part?
No, I don't think I did.
Oh my god.
Oh,
watch
you should
YouTube,
go back
even if you
and
don't.
just watch that sequence on YouTube, because it's this guy, and he doesn't have he doesn't even have eye sockets on his face, and he's sitting there with two orbs on his plate, and the main girl disturbs him, and he puts the orbs in his hands, and you realize the eye sockets are on the palm of his hands, and he goes like this to see, and it is the... Oh, what the hell? Did you see that? It is the coolest thing ever. I loved that whole sequence. The final third, the final act, with, like, the captain and how she totally... You want to know how I got these scars?
Oh,
the captain,
God, it's crazy.
She literally, to the captain, to save her little brother, she takes a knife and puts it in his mouth and slices him like that.
Yeah.
Like Heath Ledger's Joker.
For the rest of the movie, he is downing hard alcohol, which I cannot imagine how bad that hurt. It's crazy. But, yeah, before this, the Pale Man, the hand scene, she's talking to the fawn, the friendly monster, and he's like, there's going to be a bountiful banquet, and don't fucking touch any of the food. Don't do it. And she does, and it awakens the Pale Man, and she's got her little fairies with him, and he just fucking picks one up and rips it in half. It's crazy.
And eats it.
After
this, you should go... It's like a 3-minute sequence. You should go watch it on YouTube. It's so really cool.
But, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I have my funny story about Doug Jones, and I'd like to do this really quick.
Is he the guy that plays the Pale Man?
He plays the Pale Man, and he plays the Fawn.
Okay, yeah.
And he's apparently, like, a really legendary actor. I didn't know the guy. I was at, like, an event, and I was just standing there. I had just walked into a room, and I was looking at a DVD shelf. And this huge line was formed. And next to me is this bald dude. And I looked back, and there was, like, a thing behind him, like a tarp-ish thing that just had pictures of these characters. And I later realized that I was standing about 3 feet away from Doug Jones while I was looking at a DVD shelf, and that was pretty funny. But yeah, that's my whole story. Means nothing, adds nothing. It's just...
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And Evan, you want to give your thoughts, and then we can call it?
Yeah, yeah, you said it. I think it handles this childhood whimsy and sense for like the set need for escape is a really interesting theme here where it's this storybook adventure set in a, war backdrop, horrific, but it's also this like I hate my stepdad type thing. It's kind of, weird to phrase it like that, but it is. And um I adore the, oh, go get the key, and she finds the whimsical frog, and it's like, oh, give him some bugs, but then it gets darker and darker as the movie goes on. I just think it's fucking brilliant. um the color palette in this movie is insane. The score is
Yeah.
great, performances are amazing. In the final 20 minutes, Jagger, the color yellow pops like no other. Holy shit, it's nuts. There's two scenes, one that's pretty extended and one that's pretty quick, but the color yellow just pops like no other. Guillermo
Yeah.
just has this sense for backdrop that is amazing. This is a 5-star for me. I think it's fucking amazing. This is my like fourth time seeing it now. I've seen it a few times, but not for a long time. I loved it when I was a kid. I just think it's amazing. I love how brutal but not gory the violence is. It's very straight up. The bullets, there's gunshots straight to the head, but it's not like fucking heads exploding. It's like a tiny little hole. I think that it brings this realism to the story, which is like the core of it. There's this whimsical adventure, but this pure realism of horror, and I think that's necessary. Like the doctor getting his fucking leg sawed off, all that. I just adore it. I think it's a brilliant story of trauma and the like need to escape, to save your childhood.
Yeah.
To try and preserve your own innocence.
I'm raising my rating.
Yeah, I
and
think
you got to put Jagger's rating in the HQ
I'm gonna
as
add him
well.
right after this. Yeah, I think this.
It's a 4.5 for me.
Yeah, I think the way this movie handles the need to preserve your own innocence, yet coming to terms with the fact that it's going away, is so interesting. The fawn, every set piece is brilliant. And like, the fawn comes back and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna give you one more chance," and it's like this, okay, like just give me a little more hope, type thing. And it's like, yeah, let me get back in there one more time. Like there might be one more key to saving this all. Like it's just that grasping at the last ounce of hope, type thing when you're in this situation where you're losing every ounce of childhood innocence, and I just think it's fucking perfect. Yeah. Pan's Labyrinth is a masterpiece. 5 stars. It's
4.5.
It's probably tied for favorite Guillermo. I love Nightmare Alley. I want to talk about it sometime, but yeah, Pan's Labyrinth's fucking peak. Yeah. Next week we're gonna glaze Shutter Island. Trey's gonna talk about how much he loves it. We're gonna talk about Casino. If you want to catch up for the next episode, just Google Scorsese gangster montage. You'll be set for Casino.
Yep.
And then, yeah, we're gonna talk about
the last 3 Carpenters.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm probably gonna come to the next episode with a Jason Statham impersonation, so be ready for that. That's gonna be
Jason
peak.
Statham.
Jason Statham, like, dude, it's not there yet. It's coming.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for joining us on the pod today, guys. Listening along. This is one of our longest episodes in a while, and we appreciate you sticking with us to the end. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, we'll see you.